So, Mark Carney recently said that if he gets in, he will ban people convicted of domestic violence from ever owning a gun again. And on the surface level, this seems like a good idea. It seems fair, just, and humane. If you've proven that you will abuse your partner, then it makes sense why someone would want to take weapons out of your hands. But, well, I definitely sympathize with people who hold their position, and I think the people who are advocating for this are well-intentioned, and I hold no ill will to them. I disagree. And here's why. Oftentimes, with domestic violence, the victim retaliates. From the figures I've read, the figures seem to be around just over 50% of victims who retaliate. And people who hit their partners, oftentimes, though not always, have narcissistic tendencies. So when their partner hits back, the abusive partner will view themselves as the victim. And oftentimes what they'll do is they'll actually contact law enforcement and try to have their partner arrested for hitting them, for retaliating. So the person who is the primary victim ends up getting labeled as the abuser and ends up getting arrested. So what this means is in those cases where the wrong person, the victim, the primary victim, gets arrested and labeled an abuser, they would now no longer be allowed to own a firearm. And I think if you are a victim of domestic violence who retaliates and then gets mixed up in the legal system, I personally believe that it would be unjust to revoke their rights to access to a firearm. And I personally think that if anything, they need access to firearms. Because let's say you have a 110-pound woman. How is she supposed to defend herself against a 6-foot whatever man who's beating on her? In my opinion, it would be justified for her to own a firearm. There are some people, though, who might disagree. They might believe that, well, these cases do happen and it's tragic. By and large, most of the time, law enforcement gets it right. But this brings up a moral problem. Are you okay with innocent people being punished in the name? Are you okay with this punitive form of justice which manifests in restricting people's firearms? Even if it results in innocent people being punished. And I personally am not. I argue that it is unjust. And I understand that there are people, many people in my life who I hold in high regard who might disagree with me. And that is completely fine. And I implore anyone who disagrees to have a respectful discussion in the comments section. We can have a discussion, or maybe we could get in contact with each other and have a debate. I wish everyone a wonderful day. God bless you.